Hey there. Let's talk about one of the biggest stressors in leadership, feedback. Giving it, receiving it. No one wants to do it because it just feels terrifying. Most people would rather wrestle an alligator than have a tough conversation with someone on their team. But worse, if you avoid giving and receiving feedback, your team is basically a wildfire. And guess what? You're the one who gets hosed. Avoiding giving feedback is one of the greatest causes of unnecessary stress for leaders. I mean, if you're not setting clear expectations, guiding your team's development, and not addressing issues head on, you're on your way to a no expenses paid endless night stay to Burnoutville, where you're also about to become the mayor. One of the worst pieces of advice I ever received was to lead by example. Okay, on balance, it isn't a horrible idea in a specific way. However, isn't this what we start to believe as leaders? If I just do what I'm doing, surely everyone will follow and do it just like I want it done. I mean, it's totally realistic that everyone knows why I'm doing what I'm doing and also can read my mind. Yeah, that didn't work for me either. If we really want to enjoy our work and be able to focus on the things we're supposed to be doing and supporting others to grow, we got to give the feedback and become a pro at doing it. By the way, it's just not about giving feedback either. What if you never ask for it as a leader? Well, congratulations, because you've just capped your own growth. Yikes. And that can be costly in more ways than one. So today, we're going to fix that. I'm going to give you a simple, effective framework that you can use and that I use with every leader to master giving feedback. It comes from Barton, like back in the 70s. Here's what it is. What? So what? Now what? Pure genius. Here's how it works. 3 simple questions. First, what? What happened? What's the situation? What did the video camera actually record? Not your story about what happened, but specifically what happened. Next, so what? Why does it matter? What's the impact? How does it affect the person, you, the team, and the success of each? And then last, now what? What needs to happen next? What's the action that needs to be taken going forward? So let's start with the example of giving feedback. Imagine one of your team members, we'll call her Daphne, missed a deadline for the weekly report. You could stew in frustration, or you could use this framework. It would go something like this. Here's the what. Hey Daphne, I noticed the weekly report was sent out 72 hours after the agreed time. I wanted to follow up with you on it, because you've been really timely with the other ones. Then the so what. When it's late, it delays the project, and the team was scrambling to catch up to get the other actions taken based on the input from the report. And then the now what. Let's talk about how we can handle that going forward, and if there's something on your end that's causing the delay that we can problem solve. Boom. No drama, no sugarcoating, just clarity. Remember, clarity is kindness. All right, now let's say that you get feedback from your boss or your peers, maybe even a member on your team. Let's be real. Sometimes it can sting. But instead of getting defensive, use the same framework and help them use the framework even when they might not even know it. So let's say this is the what. They said, you seem a little checked out this past quarter and that you didn't send very clear emails. Okay, so they said my emails weren't clear and that I dropped the ball on a deadline with a client. What's the so what? That might mean people were confused by what I was trying to communicate and that I was slowing down an important project. But what's the now what? What can I do going forward? I can communicate a lot more clearly when I feel like I'm getting behind, and being sick this last quarter didn't help, and I can adjust my communication and check in more often to ensure I'm following along well too. See how much easier that is than spiraling into a pit of self-doubt? Feedback is a gift, and it's worth the time to know how to give it and receive it, sometimes even when it isn't delivered perfectly. So fearless leader, your challenge. The next time you have to give or receive feedback, use this framework. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, because leaders who master feedback, they don't just survive, they thrive. And I've got a very special toolkit for you, the Feedback Toolkit. Go to the link below and get a copy for yourself. It includes even more great tips on giving and receiving feedback that will set you up for success. Let me know how you manage giving and receiving feedback in the comments below and what has worked really well for you too. It's nice to share our learnings. And don't forget, hit subscribe to get more great stuff on how to thrive in the 9 to 5 and beyond. Happy thriving!